Okay, so it's race time here at the Tasmanian Circuit, at Symonds Plains Raceway more specifically. And lights are out and then we're away and we're already off to a pretty decent start. Got a defend from Simon Evans in second place, so we're going to turn 1. Who's going to get the lead? It looks like it's going to be us leading into turn 1. Lap 21, well sorry, lap 22 coming on to lap 23. You'll notice something really bizarre happened, and you'll be able to see from this camera shot too. If you notice the front right tyre, watch what happens. See it deflate? Yeah, we had a deflated tyre. On the last lap, it ended up being the battle between ourselves and Simon Evans. I actually ended up doing slow lap times come the last 2-3 laps. So it was everything to play for on the final lap. And as you can see, we're on the final lap. And the gap's only 4 seconds. Bear in mind, the last lap I'd done a lap time about 5 seconds slower than Simon Evans. So it's everything to play for now as we go into the corner. And because we have the puncher, we're still going with bravely we're valiantly charging on. Simon Evans is not giving up. He's not got a puncher or anything like that, so he's able to catch us. As you see, the gap's down to 2.8 seconds. And because of the puncher as well, you're not able to open up the car all the way. So it's kind of worrying as well, and as you can see, the gap is closing, he's closing the gap. Obviously we've got the puncher, he's really gaining. Coming around the last few corners now. Who will win here at the Tasmanian Raceway Circuit? And it will be Scott McLaughlin from Simon Evans to win the Symonds Plains Raceway race. Hey guys, I'm Viper and welcome to a brand new video, and more specifically welcome back to my Scott McLaughlin career mode on R-Factor. Today we're going to be racing at the Hamilton Street Circuit located in Hamilton, Australia. And in today's race it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Now obviously in the past 2 races we've won both of them. The first one we won on the last lap because the AI didn't pit, and in the second race we won in very spectacular fashion after having a puncture. So the question is, for this race, can we make it 3 in a row? Well, this is what we're going to find out today. Can we make it 3 in a row? Who knows? But yeah, the circuit itself, it reminds me a bit like the Long Beach circuit. It's quite a difficult one. But, I say difficult, but it's pretty much straight, but it feels a bit boxy. But as you can see on screen now, we're jumping into practice, of course. We're still using that HUD from last time. We are going to keep using this HUD, I think. I've decided we actually are just going to use this HUD for the rest of the season. But as you can see on our practice lap, this is our first flying lap. We've had Shane Van Gissenberg, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's come out of the pits whilst we are starting our lap, and the majority of this lap, which I was quite angry about, was that he wouldn't get out of the way. So I'm trying to set a fastest lap, and we end up having to push past him like 2 or 3 times during this race. And for me, it seems a bit silly because we shouldn't be doing this, fighting with somebody on practice. I mean, F1 drivers get a bit hot under the collar, and I kind of admit I was getting a bit hot under the collar at Shane myself. I was like, come on, get out of the way, man, all that stuff. So yeah, like I said, the circuit itself feels very boxy, so it feels like there's a lot of 90-degree angle corners, but it feels a bit like Adelaide as well. So the Adelaide circuit, how there was a few corners, especially the last sector, there was quite a few tight hairpins, tight corners. There is quite a few on this circuit, but not as many. The most iconic bit of this track by far is this straight here. And as you can see here, we're going to go across the line to do a 1:26.538, which wasn't bad. But then later on, after trying to get a good lap, and it took a while, but eventually, as you see, you're going to come across the line to do a 1:24.124, which, like I said, it was a decent lap. It took me quite a while just because the AI kept getting in the way all the time. But as you can see, come the end of practice, we're actually down in 11th. Most of the AI doing quite a few laps, so 40, 50 laps even. We see Shane Van Gissenberg obviously topping the timesheets as per usual, really. But one thing I noticed, which was quite bizarre, if you've noticed Tim Edgell to Greg Murphy, the times are the exact same. And by exact same, I mean they're 88 thousandths of a second behind Shane Van Gissenberg, and they're all the same time. Now whether that's just AI, I don't know. There was no other AI times that had the same thing. But as you can see there, Greg Murphy 5th, Angus Fogg 6th, Dominic Surrey, all these guys all play a part. Richard Moore and Paul Manuel, as you see at the bottom, rounding out the top, well, the top 16 out of all the runners. But that's all from practice. I'll see you guys for qualifying. Okay, so here we are in qualifying for the Hamilton Street Circuit race of this this calendar that we are doing with these cars, of course. Getting a bit of oversteer, snap of oversteer going to turn 1 there. Sorry, coming out of turn 1 even. Going down up through the gears and coming down into this tight, actually it's a tight right hairpin, I believe. The elevation change there actually always kept putting me off. I actually don't use traction control or anything like that, so the back end seems to slide out quite a bit. The braking zone for this corner was quite hard to find as well. The only reason being was because, like I said, the bumpy surface as well, which wasn't too fantastic, which is not too great, but you know, what can you do? Then you've got this fast complex going through there, not doing too bad so far, having a pretty decent lap so far. And just to note, this was actually the first lap that I did, which was this one that you're looking at now. This was actually my quickest lap. I tried and tried over and over and over again, but unfortunately, I could not top this time any further. Obviously, you'll see where it puts me at the end of this session. But as you can see, this complex in particular, like I said, there's quite a few tight corners going through each other. So, especially, I mean, the left-hander here, it seems quite vast and quite open. As you can see there, Richard Moore currently topping the timesheets with a 126.124. We're going to come across the line to smash that time and do a 124.481. However, come the end of qualifying, we ended up finishing in 10th with Shane Van Gisbergen again topping the timesheets. Dominic Sturry coming second. Then it was Angus Fogg all the way down to, I believe, Greg Murphy once again. All 88 thousandths of a second once more. With Simon McLennan coming in 8th, Andy Booth in 9th place, obviously ourselves, Scott McLaughlin coming in 10th, Craig Bard 11th, Andre Heimgartner in 12th, and John McIntyre in 13th. As you see, most of the AI were doing 100 laps in qualifying. I did 5, but that just goes to show you the pace of the AI, I suppose, in this game. But yeah, going further down the order, as we wait for me to go down the order. Going down the order, you see Richard Gore 14th for the two M3 Racing Team lads going in 15th and 16th. That's all for qualifying, let's go to the race. So here we go then, race time here at the Hamilton Street Circuit. I'm going to rev to 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, lights out, and we're away. And a bit of a wheel start there, wheel spin start, if you want to call it that. Going up through the gears, coming back into the first corner, and as you can see, I believe that's Simon McLennan we actually just rammed, but fortunately we managed to get past him. I believe we have Andy Booth. Oh, he's actually gone past us, it would seem. But yeah, going into the second corner, I don't really know names of these corners, so you have to forgive me. But yeah, you can see there's Greg Murphy in front of us. We get tapped from behind, but I believe that was Andy Booth that actually gave us a bit of a nudge from behind. As you can tell, V8 Super Tours are close contact racing. Obviously try and keep it as clean as possible, of course. As you can see, going up through the gears, we're trying to get this slipstream of Greg Murphy's, but it's not doing any justice here. I know it's this section in particular that the AI were kind of slow at, so I use this to my advantage. As you can see, we go up the inside of Greg Murphy here, and get past him nice and easy. Obviously, like we had to give him a bit of a nudge to tell him, look, we're here, mate, we need to kind of get past you because you're holding everybody up. And Ash Waltz and Tim Edgell are going at it. As you see, Tim Edgell's dropped down, and because he was going so slow in that corner, I thought, make the best of a bad situation, you know, and that's exactly what I did. You see, Ash Waltz actually made a mistake. I don't know how. That's the first time I've seen an AI make a mistake before, and we managed to get past him for 5th. And like I said, go on to the back straight now, going up through gears, up into 4th, into 5th now, and eventually up into 6th. We come across the line and considering we started in 10th place, end up finishing 5th at the end of the first lap, which wasn't too bad. As you see, Ash Waltz going up inside, and we shut the door on him, and he decides to back out of it. But as you can see, a replay of the start, and as you can see, everyone's pretty much side by side, you know, and going through the first set of corners, every car seemed to do quite well. As you can see, there's a bit of smoke in the background, that's from us, of course. Everyone got off to a relatively clean start, however, coming to turn 1, bit of a difficult situation because obviously you have to kind of mind the gaps. I was trying to thread my way through. I see, I believe that's Ash Waltz on my right, or Andy Booth on my right. He was trying to he actually went a bit wide, so that's why we managed to get past him so easily. I think we went up, this was where we had Greg Murphy. We did try and look up his inside, but unfortunately he did shut the door in our face. I said, sorry mate, you can't have that position. But yeah, not doing too bad so far. Like I said, you know, this corner in particular, that corner there where we've just been through, the braking points for that corner was quite difficult, I found. And most of the AI seem to do quite well. See, some of the shots as well, you'll notice some of the camera shots, they're not the greatest, but you know, some take longer than others. As you can see, this is that move we pulled on, I think it's Greg Murphy, was it? But yeah, nice easy move. He actually lost the back end, and a few of the AI I noticed were losing the back end of that car. You'll see it later on down the line. You know, a quick spoiler ahead, but nothing too much. You see, Tim Edgell, he did get pushed out wide by Ash Waltz. And fortunately, we didn't actually pressure Ash Waltz into going wide here, but he does actually go wide. Like I said, that's how we gained the position on him. Although, I mean, there's some cracking racing in this series so far. I mean, you know, for what it's worth, this series is doing well so far, I reckon. And like I said, come the end of that first lap, we did go from 10th to 5th, which was a very good result. I see going across the line, Shane Van Gisbergen dropped from the lead to 3rd place, which was actually shocking. And you see David Sturry and Scott Evans, I believe, were also in that mix. There you see Ash Waltz, he did try out the inside, but like we said, we did actually not manage to get past him. We did manage to get past him, sorry, we did close the door. See, there's David Sturry. We managed to go up his inside, nice and easy, and we take 4th place from David Sturry later on though, onto lap 3. Shane Van Gisbergen up ahead in front, so that currently the guy who's fighting us for the championship, we managed to go up his inside, again near enough the same corner. Unfortunately, there's not much to see about that, but you know, things like the back end, like you saw just then, seems to skid out quite a bit. Simon Evans. Scott Evans for some reason. Yeah, Simon Evans as well. He also went rather a bit wide. We managed to push him out of the way and got up his inside and take 7th place. However, the drama didn't stop there. Angus Fogg went very, very slow, and we did exactly what we did to Shane Van Gisbergen. Went up his inside and took the position away from him, which was very nice. And going into our one and only pit stop of the afternoon, on lap 8, I think, or coming on to, you know, lap 7, coming to lap 8. The thing is with this pit stop in particular, so with what's going on now, unfortunately, and I say this, unfortunately, when we did this pit stop, I didn't realise what was actually going to happen. Now, whilst we did this pit stop on lap 8, unfortunately none of the AI did their pit stops. For some weird reason, none of the AI pitted during the entire race, so everybody went during the entire, you know, everybody didn't pit. Shane Van Gisbergen actually did end up getting into the lead of the race, but the reason why I'm showing you this now is because this is actually what was going on, because whilst I was trying to catch up, this happened. Shane Van Gisbergen, he got overtook by Greg Murphy, and eventually, as you'll see in a minute, Angus Fogg actually looked up his inside. They had a drag race into turn 2, which is fantastic, as you can see here. But because he left the door open, Angus Fogg's looking up his inside as well, and also Dave Story, and also Simon Evans. I see the pack was very, very close together, but I believe this is where he loses his position to Angus Fogg, either here or on the next corner maybe. But like I said, the reason why I'm showing you this is because this was a critical point in the race. I was nowhere near at this point, unfortunately, because like I said, none of the AI actually pitted during the entire race, which was a first. Well, a bit like the first race, so this was the second time this happened. There you go, Angus Fogg overtaking Shane Van Gisbergen, and Craig Barr and Andy Booth went at it back further back. But yeah, like I said, it was a bit weird to be honest, because they didn't pit, and it meant that I had to try and fight back. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I did put in some blistering lap times as David Sturry eventually overtakes Shane Van Gisbergen. But that means that it's Greg Murphy who wins the race and gets his first ever win in this championship, or in this season. Like I said, we won 2 in a row, and now we've got a new winner on the board known as Greg Murphy. So good drive by him. Like I say, he did actually start pulling out a gap at the end of the race, come the end of the race. But this is something else I wanted to point out. Tim Edgell, don't know how he did this, I don't know why, but he must have run out of fuel is my guess. But on the last lap he decided to pit, which meant that we ended up finishing in 15th instead of dead last. I have to admit, it wasn't a fantastic race, but the only reason being it wasn't great was only because of the fact that, you know, the AI didn't pit. I mean, apart from Tim Edgell, I'll give the hats off to him, he did pit, thankfully. But unfortunately, like I said, because he didn't pit, the AI didn't pit, sorry, meant that we end up finishing 15th. So not a fantastic race for Scott, although I'm pretty sure he will come back stronger. But at the end of that race, as you can see, Greg Murphy wins by 4 seconds from Angus Fogg. Dominic Sturry finishes 3rd. Simon Evans finishes 4th with Simon McLennan. So the two Simons finishing 4th and 5th there. Andy Boo finishing 6th. Shane Van Gissenberg dropped down to 7th place. 9.3 seconds behind, I believe that is. Then we have John McIntyre finishing 8th. Craig Bard in 9th. And Ash Bolts getting the final point in 10th place. Then it's Andrew Heimgartner in 11th. Daniel Gaunt in 12th, Richard Moore 13th, Paul Manuel 14th, ourselves Scott McLaughlin in 15th, and Tim Edgell in 16th place. This means that in terms of the championship, things have really begun to spice up. Now, we are still leading, thankfully, but Shane Van Gisberg is not too far behind as he's closed up now. Simon McLennan moves up to 3rd, Greg Murphy's moved up to 4th place, Simon Evans is in 5th, Dominic Sturry 6th, Ash Waltz 7th with Angus Fogg in 8th, Andy Booth 9th, Tim Edgell rounds out the top 10. John McIntyre is in 11th with Richard Moore and Craig Bard tied on 4 points each in 12th and 13th place. Andrew Heimgartner in 14th place with 2 points. Daniel Gaunt on his own with 1 point, and also Paul Manuel with no points. So unfortunately that is the end of things. And that is it for the Scott McLaughlin career mode, this episode anyway. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you're new. And until next time, I've been Viper Racing, you guys have been awesome watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ta-ra!